Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is Saturday, April 5th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see we've got some troughing here out over the Gulf of Alaska. Frontal system will be on its way. It'll start pushing through as we go through the day tomorrow. Already getting some high clouds moving across the area from that system. We'll take a look at all that. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. And again, one more look a little bit closer there of the clouds kind of slowly pushing in here as we go through the day today. So probably more cloud cover today, but still another very warm day here, relatively speaking, across the Pacific Northwest. Now, taking a look here, this is a weather station I've been promoting. You can see that it does its own smartphone app here on the right. Very attractive unit mounted on a pole. Take that apart, put it on top of any kind of wood item as well, and put the screws in, and just clicks right in. You have it up and running very quick. It's got a lightning detection system with it as well. So click on the link down below if you want to save 10% off on that one. So let's take a look at where we are right now. You can see it's pretty early in the morning. It's only about 5:10 here in Seattle. You can see that it's a little bit chilly out there, and you can see chillier East Cascades across with a higher train. But again, we are going to be warming up as we go through the day today. And in fact, I want to show you that. I don't think I set this map up here. We're going to take a look at the 24-hour max temperatures for today, and we'll zoom in a little bit more here, and you can see, look at this, some 70-degree potential there for Western Washington, Western Oregon as well. So yeah, definitely a nice warm day coming up here today. Get out there and enjoy that on this Saturday. And then as we go on in through tomorrow, you notice the cool down. Look at that, at least dropping 10 degrees, maybe even a little more for places west of the Cascades. Another very warm day here east of the Cascades, though. Look at the Columbia Basin, some of eastern Oregon, some of Idaho, Treasure Valley down here in Idaho as well. And if we bounce back out a little bit, you can kind of see the valley there in Idaho also. So yeah, starts to cool down there. Some of the interior valleys up across eastern British Columbia are still nice and warm. Look at some of the prairies of Canada, and nice and warm as well as we go through the day tomorrow. And then we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We don't get back into these lofty temperatures as we go through this upcoming week. We're going to have some storm systems moving through here, so some active weather will be incoming here as we go through this upcoming week. And then we go towards the end of the weekend, and then maybe a drier trend starts to emerge after we go through about the midway period through April. So if we look at last 24 hours, I just like to kind of show this is the last 24-hour lightning strikes. You see, got to go all the way down towards Utah or way out across the Pacific Ocean to get any lightning activity. Pacific Northwest, no lightning coming up. Then, or over the last 24 hours. But there is some lightning coming up here potentially as we go through Monday and Tuesday. More on that here in a moment. Also wanted to point out sneaker wave potential here. Looks like Sunday, April 6th through Monday morning, April 7th. Don't turn your back on the ocean. You guys know the drill. Just watch out for this up and down the Oregon and Washington coast. And something interesting that always happens, you might see this beach hazard statements that comes up across southwest Washington, and it kind of gets cut off right there. That's where Portland National Weather Service meets Seattle National Weather Service. Seattle National Weather Service puts out the sneaker wave advisories, much less here, probably just because there's more people and there's more beach access here. It gets much more rugged up across the Washington coast, even though you can get out to some of these beach areas, and just the differences between the National Weather Service offices there for you. So taking a look at cooler and unsettled weather early next week. This is where these frontal systems start to roll in. Spokane National Weather Service, they're talking about that chance of thunderstorm activity Monday and Tuesday. Some light snow over Stevens Pass Monday night and Tuesday night. Lesser amounts for Snoqualmie Pass. This was updated yesterday afternoon. And if you want to help support the channel, you can become a free member of this page too, and it's no big deal. But yeah, if you want to help support the channel, it's a good way to do so here on Patreon. I had a lot of requests to do so, so that's why I'm doing my updates here as well, more than I do on X. So go ahead and check out Patreon. It is free to see the updates, for example, for the most part. Now, taking a look here, the maximum individual wave height. So you can see there's Washington, Oregon, all the way to the right of the screen. We're showing the entire northern Pacific Ocean. There's the Hawaiian Islands, and even though we've got kind of a lack of wave activity here as we go through the day today, that will be changing as we go. Watch this. So as we start to go through Sunday, see the waves start to arrive on the Pacific Northwest coastline, and then it remains elevated as we go through this upcoming week here. And you can see it's going to be pretty active as we go, and then another system may be arriving later next week as well, and the Gulf of Alaska continues to churn some waves towards Pacific Northwest. But then you'll notice we start to calm it back down a bit here in the troughing well out over the Pacific. We might start to break some ridging here through the extended forecast. Again, it's just something we'll be watching here over the next couple of days. Wider view of things here. Let's zoom in a little bit on that. And you can see BC, Washington, Oregon. Again, there is our frontal system. This is Saturday morning here. And then we scroll on in through the day today. There's this afternoon. It's just off the coastline there. Clouds likely increasing as we go through the day today. And then by the time we get towards Sunday morning, there's about Sunday about 11 a.m. And you can see it starts impacting the Washington, Oregon coastline, starts moving in towards Seattle and Portland as well. And then by the time we get towards the afternoon and the evening hours, it looks like we're going to have a lot of rainfall. Well, not a lot, but it's going to be a rainy period here for western Washington, western Oregon. But we're going to wait till Monday until it gets east of the Cascades. But you can see we're going to have multiple rounds of activity here. And then another low pressure system comes rolling through on Tuesday. A little bit of a break maybe for portions of Wednesday, but then another system swinging through on Thursday, then another break after that. We may start to reduce the amount of systems we're getting by this time frame once we start to get off towards next week. We'll be watching that here though over the next few days. Don't want to get too caught up in those extended details too much just yet. So total snow Kachura ratio in inches. We'll put this into motion. Of course, got nothing going on today, but as we go through Sunday, some of the higher peaks, just a little bit of snowfall, not a big deal. And as we go through Tuesday, you see Snoqualmie Pass, it's just picking up a little bit of snow. Stevens Pass doing better, so that kind of tells you where the snow levels are. You know, Stevens is 4,000 feet, Snoqualmie Pass is 3,000 feet. And you see a little bit of snowfall for the higher elevation of the Cascades of Oregon as well. And then we scroll off in towards the end of the week. So not a big snowy period coming in here, but we will bring a little bit of snow for the higher terrain. Now, looking at lightning flash density potential. So the main point of concern is Monday afternoon, right there. You can see eastern Oregon, Washington, BC, and some of western Washington, Oregon also going to be under the threat of a couple of lightning strikes. So we go through Monday, and then we go through Tuesday as well. We'll have to watch that. Maybe a lightning strike or two possible at that. And then we go on through Wednesday. That moves off to the east there. Now, we look at composite reflectivity high resolution North American model. So this is about this afternoon. It kind of starts to move into Vancouver Island actually this afternoon. And this evening and tonight, you can't rule out a little bit of light rain for the Washington coast, and that kind of starts to slide in here. But the rain the bulk of the rain starts to arrive as we go through tomorrow afternoon for the most part. But definitely more clouds tomorrow than what we're getting today. And the temperatures will definitely be cooling off as well. Then we go on into Monday, and you see how things start to get showery back here behind the main frontal system. We could be bringing some thunderstorm activity with that. We'll be watching that as we go through tomorrow, especially some of the high resolution models. We'll get a bit more in range for that. Now, if we take a look at 925 millibars, about 2,500 feet. So as we go through the day tomorrow, you can kind of see a little bit of blustery conditions, nothing too extreme. But the next system comes in on the day Monday right there. We got to watch that one. That could bring a little bit stronger winds with it. And then the next system there on Tuesday. So we got a 1-2 punch Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday a little bit of a break, and then another system spinning up off the coastline there as we go through Thursday as it kicks the frontal system through as well. And if we take a look at accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts, so there is Sunday's system there. I mean, we're not looking at big winds or anything with Sunday's system, just a little bit blustery at best. And then Monday comes through, though, and you can see the Oregon coast might get some 40s there. And you can see this isn't too bad. You start to gust into the mid-30s there. It might catch your attention, and maybe up towards 40 miles per hour with that frontal system down into western Oregon. But no major windstorm coming in here. And we go through Tuesday's system. You might get a 50-mile-per-hour gust along the Oregon or the Washington coast. Doesn't look that windy for the interior areas. I mean, on Tuesday, maybe up towards some of the island counties here, gusting up over into the low 40s, maybe mid 40s as well. And we scroll for the future, and you can see that next system kind of way up into Vancouver Island there as we go through the day Thursday. Now, this is the artificial intelligence. Take a little bit of a look at the extended forecast here. So there's a Sunday system, there's Monday system, there's Tuesday system, a little bit of a break Wednesday, there's Thursday system spinning up as we go through Thursday night, and then maybe do we start to get a little bit of a break there, and the trough kind of hangs out. Then we go off into the following week, and you see the systems don't have the same punch as we go through the first portion of the second half of April. And so maybe we'll start to get some nicer weather here as we go towards the end of the month. No promises just yet, but there is that signal showing up. And if we look at the 7-day anomaly in inches running total here, so you can see as we go through the next, let me back this up. This is the next 7 days, really right about there, the week upcoming. And you can see we got some above average signal here, especially for western portions. And then we scroll off a bit here and we go towards about April 15th there. And you'll see that signal start to go away. And we start to show that drier signal as we go on and through about April 19th or so there as well. So yeah, you can kind of see the second half of the period here starting to show up a bit drier. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, kind of the mixed bag across the Pacific Northwest there. And then we go to 6 to 10 day precipitation. This should be no surprise as we go through April 14th. But this is probably going to change because this was issued yesterday and you got the below normal here across the Pacific Northwest and the above normal precipitation. I have a feeling tomorrow is going to start to reflect a little bit here of backing off on some of this precipitation as we go through April 18th. So we'll see how that goes. Here's a precipitation departure from average. This is from January 1st. So this is the year 2025 so far. Pretty good deficit there across western Washington and a mixed bag western Oregon, above normal for eastern Oregon as well. So yeah, kind of a mixed bag here overall speaking across the Pacific Northwest. Here's the average temperature departure from average, and you can see that we have the mixed bag as well, but generally below normal here, kind of a classic La Nina signature since January 1st. And yeah, you can kind of see a few areas that are above, but overall speaking, most of the Pacific Northwest has been below normal. But yeah, otherwise, got off to an early start here this morning, and I'll kick this video out for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. And again, just I'm posting the updates on the Patreon page. Doesn't mean you have to be a paying member to see those updates. These daily videos that I do here are free, and you can check back on YouTube on a daily basis, regardless of where I'm posting those links. So anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know that. What else? Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.